Hi viewers, welcome to Manchester Christian Television Network. My name is Apostle Helen Dokeno. And we are very glad that you are viewing us in any of your devices, and some of you have welcomed us in your homes. So today is a very special day, and we are always glad when you tune into us and follow the broadcast. So thank you once again for being part of us. Now, our discussion today is on practical strategies for helping the migrants to raise their income levels. And I have seasoned men with me here who are going to dissect this topic. So in case you think it is something for you, please feel free to tune in or give us a call on the studio line, which is 020-337-4160. And you can also follow us live on Facebook through Voice of Niger, and then make your comments, and we're going to read them out, and then you just participate. So as an introduction, in this broadcast, we will be exploring practical strategies for helping migrants in Bijlmer Centrum to raise their income levels. Bijlmer Centrum is one of the residential neighborhoods of Amsterdam Southeast with some unique statistics. So we have the Bijlmer Center. It's an area with relatively many young people. So they have about 20% of the population is younger than 18 years. Then there's a lot of poverty too. 38% of the young live in a household with minimum income compared with the Amsterdam average of 21%. Again, 24% of those who live in long-term poverty are about 14% for Amsterdam. So the percentage of low-skilled school leavers, though declining, is far above the Amsterdam average. So to strengthen their position, we are firm on the reduction of unemployment. In 2018, we will continue with the integral, small-scale and target group-oriented poverty approach, which they call the GeDik approach. So today we are here as people who are affected but also concerned about our future and that of our children. What can we bring to the table to complement the intention of the government in eradicating poverty? So if in case you think you have an answer to this, join us in this discussion. But our panelists are well-seasoned men. So permit me to introduce them to you. So I start with Mr. Taki, who is a social activist and a community leader. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
I'm privileged to be.
Yes, and I know that this topic, you love it.
Really?
And then I also have our own person, Engineer Osazua Austin, who happened to be a technical director with Innovative Bridge BV. Engineer Austin, welcome, please.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure to
all
be here.
the way from
Moderate.
My God. So he said he will surely come to participate in this discussion.
I find it very interesting.
Oh, we appreciate you. Welcome.
You're welcome.
And not the last anyway, I call him my brother because when you look at him, he looks like me. We've known him for a long time, and he is a consultant and a coach. That's no other person but Mr. Robert Linger. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm so glad you made attempt to come.
Thank you for your prayers for that.
With the flu, and God answered me.
Yes.
So that's it for now. Gentlemen, are you set for this discussion?
Yes, we're ready.
I'm so interested in it because I know that you all will deliver. You will really deliver. So once again, our viewers, we ask you to interact with us. Remember, you can call us on 020-337-4160. This is coming live on the waves of Majesty Christian Television Network. Now, gentlemen, would it be good that we analyze what the percentages and this thing I mentioned in my earlier introductory discussion? Would it be good that at least you give us your opinion on the facts we have just heard about the economic status of the residents here?
Well, I think if I may come in, I think it's not a new thing anymore. We know that poverty is indeed rampant, and it's
everywhere.
Everywhere, and especially in the African community.
Okay.
And there is indeed poverty. Statistics have shown that, just like you also mentioned. So that is a fact,
okay,
at least to start with.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I also think that poverty starts somewhere. Poverty doesn't start only when someone doesn't have enough money or opportunities, but poverty starts when the way of thinking is not developed in such a way to create possibilities for yourselves.
Are you trying to say that the migrant community are not developing their brains enough?
I'm not saying that all of them are not doing that, but I think that there is more to gain. There's more to gain.
Okay.
And it seems like I call myself a migrant.
Yeah.
I'm a migrant, not myself.
Yeah.
But I think that we have to be bold enough to realize that it's also our things we are going after. So when everyone is allowed to win something for herself, and something like win a better life, have a better life for yourself.
Yes.
And so are you. So am I.
Yeah.
But what do I need to do to create that for myself also? You know. So that is what I want to say about this.
Yeah,
also.
Exactly. So in other words, you are saying that we need to be creative. We don't need to state with this tag which they have given to us. You know, we don't need to continue with this tag, because for me it's like it's a tag, because all the time they say the migrant people, they are, you know, we are living in poverty, and despite all the attempts we are trying to make, it's like we are not overcoming this tag.
Yeah, it's like we are always waiting for someone to get us out of poverty, but we can do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm trying to say.
And that's what we're going to talk about today. It's getting exciting. Let me hear from you, the activist.
Well, thank you very much. The irony of the situation, in my estimation, borders on poverty, like you are saying. In defining poverty, we can simply say lack of something you need and you don't have. But before you can actually usurp poverty, the fundamental basis of what you need is education.
Okay.
Most migrants travel to Europe, and at the back of their minds is look for money. They don't think about education.
No, they're already educated before they come here. Many of them.
Many of them are educated, but a quantum of them, more of them are illiterates who come here with the idea of making money. Even most of the literate ones too come here with the intention of looking for money. So they come here, and the criteria for making you rich is always absent. You were educated in English, you come to Amsterdam or Netherlands, the language barrier will create problems for you, because you have to learn the language first. And because of their intention of coming here to make money, they actually relegate education to the background. Only few actually decides to learn the language, go to school to a level where if they are paying a cleaner, a school market, 7 euros per hour, because you have power over the language, you can communicate, and probably you have even the lowest diploma, you can be receiving 15, 20, or possibly within that range an hour.
Yeah.
So obviously you are handicapped already because your income is low. And permit me to say here and now that there's a system in place here which you cannot change. And that system applies to everybody. if you are not educated and you are doing school marking, you are cleaning, you have a level they will put you at.
Yes.
If you are educated, some lawyers come here, some doctors, professionals from Africa migrate to Europe, or to be precise, Amsterdam, and they end up doing school marking.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because, one, they are handicapped by the language, they can't speak the Dutch language, and here, if you cannot communicate, you find yourself in a very obscure position.
Yeah.
In my church, let me set an example. There's a young lady there. She is now a doctor. She's finished her doctorate and she's pursuing professorship. If you are a doctor or a professor from Africa and you come here, because of the language barrier, she will be regarded more than you. Because she was born here, she speaks the language fluently, and because you have to overcome that barrier before, financially, you can be a par with her, will demand that you put, financial issues behind and pursue academic. You must try to learn the language, which most often becomes a barrier.
Yes.
We are quicker, we are rushing to get the money, so we think, oh, I am strong, I can work, I can do, but the Dutchman will like to communicate with you, effectively at workplace.
But not only the Dutchman would like to communicate with you. The other thing is that when you come out from Africa as a doctor, that means that you've studied and you have some brains.
You have some
exactly.
brains.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, just like you said, the language barrier. There are other doctors here, 25-year-old, 35-year-old, you know, they are good also. So why pick you?
Okay.
You know,
Age.
if there is a language, no, not age, but if there is a language barrier, why pick you? So actually, before you come to Holland, or before you go to England, or wherever you want to go, learn the language first, so you are prepared. So you know that you've studied something. You've studied something in Africa.
In Nigeria,
Can I say something now?
and all those countries were colonized by the English. So if you go to Britain, it's quite easier than coming to.
I want to come in. I think the point you made is quite clear. It's important to understand the language, not only understand because it's a tool for you to increase your income and your value in the market, which is very important. But I also think that income is not only lack of, what I'm trying to say is that even in the presence of abundance of income, you can still be poor.
Yes.
Because the thing is that I say wealth is how long can you live when that income is not there anymore. For instance, you've been getting a certain amount of money every month. And because of that, the money, maybe that income is quite high. And so you have a very expensive car, very expensive house. So that flow is coming and they are all going there. But at the point, the income changes because you will always have uptime and downtime. And it changes. And you have all those how do I call it now? You have those expensive cars, expensive house, expensive items that you are already committed to paying.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, you see yourself going down. I think ability to be able to understand that this is what I have at the moment, and then tailor your expenses to that, and then try to ensure that you have some things left over, and then strategize on how to increase that income. That makes a difference, because you would always have people come in here without understanding the language. There are people who were born here, who speak the language fluently, who are young, who have good education, good income, but their lifestyle does not allow them to be able to build up wealth.
Exactly, because they are buying everything. They are buying expensive things, so they cannot build up wealth. I think I buy with you.
That's just...
It's true.
But
then it's not all of them that are maintaining themselves expensively. there are some of the migrants
Of course.
who are very economical, but unfortunately they don't have the job.
Yeah.
They don't have that job. They don't have that education, which he made mention about.
Yes.
And some of them, age is not on the good side for them,
What
because
do you do now?
I mean, in the labor market, they will prefer a younger folk than somebody who is already 40 or 45.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So those are the things that are playing out here.
Yeah. Actually, we already said this, but poverty is the way you think, and the way a man thinks, so is he. And just what you said a few minutes ago, that you can have a lot of money, but you are still poor.
Yeah.
You live in poverty. It's the way you think. So if you start, be true to yourself first. You know, know who you are, know what you want to do. I know people who can't live with 6,000 euros a month. I know people who can save money with 1,100 euros a month.
Exactly.
It's the way you think.
Exactly.
So the other thing is that actually we're living here in Holland, and let's say, for instance, we're living here in Europe. Never mind how Europe got his wealth, but right now we all here in Europe, we have a little present. Europe has a surprise for us. The thing is, we all accept that surprise, but we didn't pick it up. How to say it? We didn't unpack it. We know that we have a surprise, but it's over there. So, and what I mean with that is that we don't know exactly what it is that Holland or Europe can do for us, or we can do for Europe, or what we can do over here. It's the way we think. We think that, okay, I'm from Suriname. Suriname people don't this, Suriname people don't that, I'm blocking myself for other possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, someone from the Caribbean said, yeah, but we are Caribbean, no, we don't do this, we are blocking yourself for other possibilities. The thing is that the possibilities are over there. They are not black, they are not white, they are possibilities. What are you going to do with it? That is the thing. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Well, like I
What are you going
earlier,
to do with what? The possibilities
With
that
the
you have
possibilities that are over there. They are everywhere. Every day is another possibility for you to create something, to do something. If you are a youngster, I know that lots of youngsters don't get the right education or the right coaching to know exactly how to reach the goals they are setting for themselves. You know? And that's why it's good that every once in a while we, as grown-ups, we try to take a youngster by hand and tell them that, come, let me teach you, let me show you. Maybe you don't have to show them, but you help them develop that what it is they want to do. And by that I mean that maybe you and I don't have all the answers, but together we can learn to see more, and so we can help lots and lots of people with maybe possibilities you and I never dreamt of.
Can I talk about the possibility a little bit?
Yeah, because that is my next question. Is if you were asked how you would want your economic situation to be improved, what would you have been done for you? So put yourself in the shoes of the people we are saying they are poor. Yeah. If it is you that is that poor, what would you like being done for you to overcome the
I would
poverty?
like to give you the chance to say something. Go ahead.
Well, what I wanted to say was based on what you said about possibility, but I call that what your gifts are. To identify your gift. You see, everybody has
or gifts.
I'm talking about the gift now.
Okay.
People have gifts. You know, everybody has something you're good at, and maybe that thing is not able to earn you an income. That's a different thing. Some people are good in music. Some can make music. Some can add drama. What you see nowadays, especially in Rotterdam, they also have in Amsterdam as well, is what they call innovation hub, where people, you go, you have an idea, you think this is a bonny idea, it's really, in you want to build something. I think we need to start, also having that in this community, where people can come with, this is my idea, I'm good at this. Then they get support for
Yes.
that thing.
Yes.
I think that's very, very important. I still think that we're not doing enough when it comes to the music industry. We, as
Film
Black, we're
industry
very
also.
good in music. We're not doing enough when it comes to
Film.
movie industry. Not enough. And Black are artistic in nature. We are entertaining. We're not doing enough in that area. And these are things that are worth millions of euros that we are letting behind. And we focus a lot on the educational aspect, which is very good.
Yes.
But we need to also encourage them. If you just walk outside, you see young girls who are model in nature. You know, these people need to promote them. I was watching something on the internet. There was a guy who freestyle with football. He plays just freestyle.
Yeah.
And somebody found and said, "Now you cannot be standing here, collecting 10 cents or whatever." And he said, "I'm going to sponsor you." Now that guy is moving from country to country, and the last time I heard, they are planning to sign a contract with between Arsenal and Chelsea, that before they play a match, that he comes in and just entertain them. So he can boldly say, "I'm a freestyle footballer."
Yeah.
Things like that are things that we need to start looking at.
Awesome.
Also,
This is
Also,
beautiful.
yes, also.
Wow.
Because we didn't raise up like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
When we say youngsters need to educate themselves, we think that they have to go to school, you know, and become a lawyer, a doctor, or maybe
Which is
someone
good, which
who's
is good.
working
But that's the
on
mindset of our parents.
in the
Which is good.
administration,
Yes.
which is good. But we can't all be lawyers,
no.
you know. Someone has to clean the streets. Someone has to write
Can
books.
entertain you.
So we have to be bold enough to work with these youngsters and ask them what it is that it's their gift. What
Yeah.
is their gift? What is in your heart? What do you really want to do? But we are thinking like the government. The government doesn't want to know what is in your heart. The government wants to know, when are you going to work? That's
pay the
all they
taxes,
want to
yeah,
know.
exactly.
You know, but the thing is that you called it that some people can be in the music industry,
Yeah.
others in the movie industry,
It's true.
others can write movies,
Movies.
others can make clothing.
Exactly.
You know, and you there is a soap series from BBC for almost 35 years or 40 years or maybe longer. It called what's it called again? I can't get a name right now. But the thing is that we are living here in Southeast, and Southeast is a small world, to say it like that. isn't it?
Yeah, because
You know, it's
yes.
a small world.
Yeah.
It's nicer than living in the center of Amsterdam.
Yes,
Most people don't know that, but it really is.
it's true.
But the thing is that there is a community over here that's very tight with each other.
Yeah.
Let's try and find out with each other how we can promote ourselves.
Yeah.
People in Southeast don't know that Southeast is on the second place of the most safe
Vicinity.
City?
cities.
Borough or something like that. City or district.
Yes,
District from Amsterdam for the 7th year in a row. The more safe one is Amsterdam Zuid, Amsterdam Zuid.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing is that every time something new happens, you know, a movie or someone is writing something about Amsterdam, it's the center of Amsterdam. It's never Southeast.
Yeah,
Promote Southeast. It's where you live. It's where you are. You know your neighborhood best. So you got to promote your neighborhood now. You don't have to become a lawyer for me. No. If writing is your thing, write. If singing is your thing, sing. But be good at it.
Yeah. And that kind of
who are
answer
going
the
to
question.
patronize them? Who are going to patronize? Who are
No,
going
no,
to
no. We're not
sponsor
talking
them?
about patronizing.
No, who are
you
going
know?
to sponsor them? Because there are so many people who want to sing, but who
Yes.
is going to bring them to the realms of light? Who?
But people got to be honest also to themselves, you know. There are so many people. I want to sing myself, but to tell you the truth, everyone who knows me, They don't want me to say.
Well. Interrogating the subject matter at stake here. Strategies in finding, I don't want to say, a panacea in solving poverty.
Yeah.
You have to look at the system. I always talk about the system.
Yes.
They have a system in place. I could see young migrants, or I mean, descendants of migrants, children of parents who are migrants here, and you go to the winkles, the shops here, you see them after school, they go there to work as casa boys and casa girls.
Yeah.
They sit there, and then whatever you buy, they just tell you the price, you pay, and that casa work, they use it off school period to make some income.
Yeah.
They have some income, yes.
And with the adults, one critical problem here is either being documented or not. Most of the documented, because they are not professionals, their incomes are always marginal. And as a result,
It's true.
they have a system they call Fuso Bank. And it's simply, they go around the shops and foodstuffs and other items that are about to expire, a week, 2 weeks to expire, they collect them into that Fuso Bank. So you have to, they will tell you your income is low. You have to register every 3 months with the Fuso Bank. So they look at your income after paying your utilities. How much is left with you? Then they will say, okay, you are left with 100 or 120. It's not enough. So they give you a ticket to go to the Fuso Bank. They'll give you bread, vegetables, provisions, but it is only 2 weeks to expire, or sometimes a week. So you must consume them in the next 2-3 days. If you wait for a week, it is spoiled. So they put this system in place because they know there is poverty here. People register. I inquired as to how the system is working now. They told me that they've suspended some people because there are refugees, migrants, who has come here because of the Arab Spring, some from Ethiopia, Somalia, and other places, Syria. They are all here, jobless. And the government is to take care of them because of the EU policy and other things. So they call these people who are, I mean, subservient to the system by receiving these handouts. They tell them, no, it's over with you. We have thousands of these refugees coming in. We have to accommodate them and feed them. So instead of you, documented, earning the privilege to go for the Fuso Bank, they stop you and their food goes to that people.
I think that's understandable. I think we need to separate these. If we're talking about undocumented, that's a big issue. And I think for you to even start life, you need to be, with all respect to those undocumented, you need to be documented. And it's already a privilege for them to have access to those food and utility without being documented. So if we're looking at those that are documented, that are still in poverty, providing them food is just keeping them
On the
in
same
poverty.
level, yes.
What I'm saying is that, what I'm standing for is that we need, I know that the government do support it. Even in Rotterdam, in The Hague, they say, if you have an idea that can promote people out of poverty, come with it. What I'm still saying, if I look at the multiculturalism here, if I look at the people, the diversity here,
Yes.
I think there is always skills, talent, gift when it comes to diversity. I think it's still underexplored. What we need to do is that to identify people who are capable, who can sponsor it, to write a business case around it and say, we want to have a hub, a talent hub, where we can begin to identify people who have these skills, who have this talent, who can come there and explore and then promote the ones you can promote. Let me tell you, if you are able to maybe put 100 people together and only 2 people become successful, those 2 will come back and give back to the society.
Yes.
In that way, those things that the society is looking as negative will be turned to positive. So what we need to realize here is that we need to look at areas that we're weak at, and turn those weakness to our strength, our light.
Because
Awesome.
That is the strategy. We need to find a strategy for that.
And the strategy, actually, you're saying, if you give a man a fish,
Yeah.
he'll eat for one day.
Yes.
So you want to try to teach him how to
How to
fish.
fish, yes.
Exactly.
And that is exactly the thing we need to do.
Yeah.
That is what I tried for years by coaching youngsters, but also adults,
Yeah.
in learning them how to spend their money, how to save your money. You earn 6,000 a month, but at the end of the month, or let's say it like that, after 3 weeks, there is no money left. Because you spend, and you don't know what you're doing with your money. You think it's enough. And other people who earn 1,100 a month, they can live with it the whole month and save some money for the rainy day.
Yeah.
And the thing is that there are lots of possibilities for youngsters, adults, or people who are living in poverty to get out or say goodbye to poverty for good. The other question you need to ask them is, what are you ready, what are you willing to do to say goodbye to poverty for good? Because it's not only that I want to take you by the hand and get you out of it. I want you to stay out of it also, but to stay out of it, you have to commit to yourself.
But even those of them who would want to stay out of poverty and they have their own businesses, you know, I don't think the government is supporting them so well, because after 1 year or 2 years you are on your own, then they go back into the bankruptcy. They go into bankruptcy because I've seen what permit me to say this. I've seen that those who are indigents, they open their own businesses, and then the government, they are supporting them in one way or the other. They don't easily declare bankruptcy, okay? But the migrants who also try to do the same thing end up not carrying along, because because they will tell you
do you know Fokker?
They will tell you it's very difficult for them to cross over after 3 years or 4 years. Do you understand?
No, I have a company.
Do you know Fokker? Do you know Fokker?
Yes.
The plane company?
Yeah.
Fokker earned money for almost 90 years for Holland.
Yeah.
And now Fokker has a problem. You know what the government said? Bye-bye. The government, you shouldn't be waiting for the government. Please, don't wait for the government, because the government don't recognize you. They don't reckon you. The only thing they want to know is, do you pay your taxes in time?
On time. And even if you do that.
And even if you do that, they want more.
So how come the Dutch people are succeeding more than the migrants?
No, I think this is what is happening.
Even when all of us are very diligent, how come?
I think this
is it because maybe their fathers they have built up some sort of strong network for them, and then they come into business with the network of their parents?
That helps. That helps.
To tell you the truth, my own story. I lost 2 companies.
Okay.
And right now I have a very big company with a partner, a very big company.
Okay.
A big one. The thing is that I told you before that SMN thinks so easy. If you think that you lost one company, you lost a second one, oh, I can't do anything, then you won't be able to do anything.
Yeah. I was going to add to that as well. I mean, the fact that you start a company and then you came to a point that it's not going well and you decide to dissolve it, doesn't mean the end. You can start again.
Start again.
You know, it's that's why they call it risk. It's undernaming. Undernaming.
Yeah.
You undertake a venture and you think, okay, you made your business studies, whatever, and then you start it, and then you get a point. The market, the dynamics, things change.
Yes.
And it doesn't go the way you want. Okay. Then you start again. You keep going.
Okay.
I keep saying to African people, I keep saying that you're not living only for yourself. You're trying to set a pace so that other people sees you and say, he did it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can learn from you. The problem I've always had, since I came to this place, that I've never, see somebody I can say, okay, let me hang on to him. When I came in here, I went to school, I was looking for who had studied in Dutch. I couldn't find one. So I did it. But before I graduated, I pulled in 4 people. They also did the same thing that I did.
Okay.
You know, you need to set a pace. And when you go through it, try to pull people along with you. It's very important. If we want to get out of poverty, then we are not talking about just an individual, we're talking about a group.
Yes.
We need to pull people.
Pull
with us.
people out.
Alongside,
Pull them
yes.
out. Pull
Very
them out.
important.
If I may come in
that's
here,
a good one.
if we look at the poverty issue critically here, it borders on the system. I always refer to the system. If you lose your work here, incidentally,
Yeah.
there's a system they call UVV, WEAU, and the rest.
Yeah, we all know.
You can be having an income as a jobless person. You be on that income for a year or two. Then they will invite you, they will let you sit behind the computer and look for job opportunities. At the expiry of the 2 years, if you are unable to look out for a job, then you are marginalized. So there are people here energetic enough to work. They intentionally fall sick or tell that they are sick to be put on, to be put on that system. You see them driving their vehicles around, excuse me to say, using it for commercial purposes. At the end of the month, they get this outcarrying also in addition. You can't be wiser than the system. A time may come, it will affect you. It will affect you because
That's not sustainable.
it's not
No,
sustainable.
it's not
You have to
sustainable.
work. But most migrants want to take advantage of the system.
Yeah, but you
Oh,
can't take
if I
advantage
lose
of
my
the
job,
system. You
I
have
can
to let
have
the
an
system
income for
work for you.
Yeah.
The system has to work for you. Don't try to take advantage of the
Because
system
you pay tax.
you don't tell me that you will never work here in Holland because Holland stole money from Africa. So
Yeah,
now-
I think-
That
I think that's mentality.
That mentality
I-
is
No,
absolutely
I-
rubbish.
No,
It's
no,
rubbish.
I want.
that is poverty.
Yeah, that's
You
what
know,
it's exactly. Exactly.
I think I want to say something again, which is very because we're talking about what are the strategies.
There
to
are
get
others
out.
who want to work, but they have not gotten the work.
Exactly,
Yes, exactly.
exactly. But what I'm saying is that you see, it's very important for us to understand that if you want to get out of poverty, you really have to try not to depend on salary alone. Very important because there will come a time that as you go along that the income that is coming, the rate at which it's been increased and the rate at which you're living, the standard of living is not equal. You will just get the money in, you pay all your bills, it's finished.
Yeah.
You need to have alternative source of income.
Alternative,
And I've
yes.
always
I'll
talked to
come to
people
that.
here
Alternative,
in
yes.
in Europe, they say it's difficult, but I think there are strategies to that.
Yes.
For instance, there are a lot of online marketing going on. For instance, let me just go to the basics. Max Plus. Do you know that you can go to a place where they sell second-hand things and just walk around with maybe 20 euros. You buy something and say, this thing, I'm going to buy it, and put it on Marktplaats. You sell it for 50 euros. You have your job.
You have gained something.
You
Yeah.
have your job.
Yeah. I thought you had
I
something
mean,
like
it-
that.
Exactly.
It looks. I
It is
know.
with time.
I know people.
Because your thing
Dutch
can be
people who are
on the
doing that.
advert
They do
lines
it. You have to
for
understand
years.
is that getting out of poverty is like a faith thing. Once you start, there's a like it's propelling you. You start growing in it. You start with 20 euros. At the point you say, oh, this I will buy. The more you understand the market, there are people who buy artistic thing or Afrik things and they put it on a Marktplaats. 16 million people, 70 million people in Netherlands, about 5 million are checking Marktplaats every day because they want to buy something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So chances are there that you put something there. I'll give you an example. I bought an old bike for my son like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then it was time to renew another bike, and the older bike was just old. And I said, what are we going to do with it? And my wife said, why don't we put it on Marktplaats? I said, who's going to buy this bike?
Yeah.
Who's going to buy it?
Yeah.
No, she cleaned it up. She put it on Marktplaats, and she sold it for 90 euros. She sold it for 90 euros. You see,
Really?
alternative source of income. It is the most, especially as
That is-
African. Do you know that there are things, small things you can buy, like a hand bracelet or whatever, handmade, that you can put there, people will buy it.
There is another one also. Become a partner of Bol.com. You don't have to make a commercial. Become a partner of Bol.com. because everyone can sell his goods via bol.com.
Yeah.
You buy it on Marktplaats, you sell it on bol.com.
Marktplaats.
You know, you add
there's a
a
scenario-
few 10,
It's a
20, 20
marketplace.
euros.
You buy
There
it,
is a scenario I want to put
Yes, it's
on
true.
the table here.
Yeah.
Most migrants,
Don't even think
from
about that.
Black
Like
Africa.
myself.
they are here, and because of the poverty levels in Black Africa, when they come here and they see things,
Yeah.
even things they call it fry, somebody has put aside because it doesn't need, or something on Marktplaats or Facebook Marktplaats, they buy everything, and before you say Jack, their clothes are full up. They cannot take it to Ghana because of the cost for this door-and-door business. And you see, most of migrants' friends have their clothes
So
choked,
full.
so full,
It's so
Yes,
full,
yes.
yeah.
with junk, rubbish. He cannot take it outside.
And you can't sell it
I
as well.
once, let me tell you a
They
story.
can't sell it also.
They can't sell it.
Uh-huh.
Once on the Queen's Day, I was on my scootmobile going around. I met a man, I don't want to mention where he came from. He was picking both left and right shoes, ladies, men, children. So I stopped and asked him, Oga, why are you picking
All of this.
He looked at me up and down and said, hey, Oga, Africa where I come from, look my age. I'm almost 55. And I came to Europe before I wear shoe. In Africa where I came from, the ability to buy even a shoe or a sandals is a problem. So I am collecting all these and ship to Africa where I come from, and it will give me some money. You see, here, if you want to do extra job, as my brother is putting across now, it's going to be on the black. If you are working for 8 hours, there are people who work for 8 hours,
Yes.
and then they will close and go and top it up 2.5 hours or 3 hours somewhere. People are stopping that because they are all jobs that are in the Sikaphone system.
Yes.
You have to pay tax. So the more you work, the more tax they deduct from your income. So they sit and say, no, it's not worth it. I'm killing myself for 8 hours,
Yes.
and then go and work additional 3 hours on top. And the tax system will tell you, oh, because you worked for 13 hours or 12 hours, you have to pay such and such amount of tax.
So actually, this is a punishment on work.
On where?
But
But that's why he said
what I'm still saying.
we still have to
We-
outgrow the level of salary.
Of salary. The
Don't,
thing
don't
is,
depend only on salary.
Don't depend
Have
on-
another source of income.
You see,
Now,
that
that's
market
why you
class
made mention
business-
of
No, I
market-
just
The
give.
yes,
Let me
that
give an
market class
example.
business, I'm on Marktplaats almost every 24 hours.
All right.
Because you can get things cheap there. But
Well,
one thing I realize is, if you buy things on Marktplaats, I bought a bureau stool for the computer, 10 euros. But transport from where I am to
It's
where I bought
I
it
just give
is
an
about
example.
50 euros.
I just give an example. You see, getting out of poverty, like you said,
Yeah,
I agree with him. Is a mindset.
Yeah, it is.
If you believe there are people who are still doing thousands of euro business on Marktplaats and people who are doing just 10 euro business, if you're working and you're earning a salary and you know you just barely break even, then you should start thinking about, I want to be financially independent.
Exactly.
Financial independence means that when I stop working, I want to be able to feed myself indefinitely. So the way I define wealth is this: when you stop working today, how long can you sustain the lifestyle that you have? If it's 1 month, you're only 1 month rich. You're only 1 month wealthy. So that's why you see a lot of people who are riding a big car, live in a big house because they have a job. As soon as that job is gone,
Exactly.
they go back.
Yeah.
They are
They
go
poor,
back,
actually,
yes.
even why. So what you see in the African community is that people ride big cars, yet they are still poor. That's why they say they are poor, because they've tried to, look at how long can you go without actually saying, okay, I want to depend on social.
Exactly.
Now, the thing is that if you know that,
Because the
I knew
job
that
will
something,
surely
you
stop,
really need
know?
to think about, I want to be financially
Independent,
independent.
yes.
How much do I need? How do I get there? You start drawing strategy, plans for that. How do I pull things together?
All right, I need
Over
to
here.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
think
let him
we
come
are
in.
not, we're doing well, but not good enough. We're
Okay.
not thinking alongside. Look, all that we're suggesting here, these are not structural solutions to the problem. If you buy something, sell it on Marketplace, you can make money one time or a couple of times, but that's not enough.
It can sustain
Now
you.
we are thinking. thinking about how, on a large scale, for a community of people who have been graded as living in poverty, how we can help them with some concrete ideas to pull them along. So those are kinds of ideas that I believe the government would like to hear from
But
us.
I think we've
That's
mentioned it
why
already.
about
We did that.
innovative hub.
With innovative
discussed
hub,
this,
Yes,
talking
get
about
your talents,
and-
you know,
of course.
and then market that talent that you have, or do something with that talent. Like some of them are musicians, some of them can sing very
Exactly.
well,
I'm
and some
sorry.
of them can act dramas.
I am sorry. If you want to add another business to what you are doing,
Yeah.
then it should be on the black. Because
That's
if
all
you
right.
want it to be in the
No,
system,
that's okay. Mate.
the second funds or the tax
No,
system.
I don't think you grow in that
there
way.
is there is there
You
is
will not
something.
grow that way.
Now
No,
let me
no,
say something here. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What I
You
would like
cannot-
to
I don't
know
support
is,
that.
apart from getting employment, are there other options to enhance the economic position of the people?
But that's what
Exactly.
that would just
Apart
There
from
are
just-
options. There
apart
are
from
options. But the
getting
thing
salaried
is,
works,
the
you
thing
know?
is, I don't think that we realize enough what we have in our hand.
Yeah.
I told you a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was talking about the gift. Let me explain it in another way. There is some kind of thing. We call it internet. And you explained a little bit about internet in a way of online marketing.
Yeah.
But to realize what internet is we are sitting here in Amsterdam Southeast, but we can read a book in Australia.
Yeah.
And everything in between is internet. So if you think for yourself, then you know that the possibilities are, oh my God, you can't say it, how much possibilities
Yeah.
there are. So let's see what we can do for ourselves right now, because we have we can reach other people. You told something about buying a glass on Marktplaats.
It's just an example.
Yeah.
Just an example.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You buy one on Marktplaats and you sell it on Marktplaats again, or you sell it on bol.com. Doesn't matter.
You have not left your house.
You never
It
left
didn't
your
cost
house.
you anything.
But this is not 1960, 1992, where you have only one job, 40 hours, and that's it. Right now you work 40 hours, that is for the payments, and then you have to work 20 hours for eating, and 20 hours who do something else. So you have to work 80 hours a month, a week. So you need to have some smart income,
Yeah.
and smart income you can generate via internet.
Are you aware of IOM, International Organization of Migration?
Yes, we are aware. We are
They
aware.
are here in Amsterdam. And what they do is, they scout around, look for jobless people, and then they invite you to the office and tell you, my brother, I want to let you go back to your home country.
Well,
This is 1,000 or 2,000 euros down there. To go home and establish a business. And people are buying into it. Because, excuse me, if you are undocumented here, it is difficult to find, a sustainable job to do.
No, but
I
you see,
think
to
we
tell you
should-
the
I
truth,
think
to
we
tell you
should-
the truth,
we-
I wasn't born here. I live here in Holland for, let's say, almost
life.
all of my life. But I wasn't born here. But the thing is, let's say, for instance, that I was someone living in the streets with no money
For
or
me,
what.
that your option is not.
I don't
is
think-
Not,
well,
no.
I don't think
I
I would
think-
stay here
I
in
think-
Holland.
with
I think-
1,000 euros.
I think we
And you
shouldn't.
stay here, God bless.
We're trying to. We should hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
What we're trying to find here is a strategy on how to get our people out of poverty.
Exactly.
If you look at the Chinese, I go to Chinese restaurants. The waiter is a Chinese. The cook is a Chinese. They're all Chinese.
Everything.
How many industries, companies, businesses are owned by people? And the ones that are owned, you employ our people
Yes.
legally with good salary and pension scheme. How many of them do we have? Now, basically, I'm not saying this thing because I just want to say it. I'm already doing it. I started Innovative Bridge, just like the name sounds. Innovative Bridge is a company that basically look at problems in developing country. We design solution for it from the Netherlands using the skills, the knowledge that are here. The plan is to grow and then employ cross-cultural people, people who were born here, who speak the language, who understand Africa, so that we can empower them. Because this is our area of gift.
Yes.
There's something that an African knows better than any other person here. At least you have the African background, the culture. You also understand what is poverty. So you understand when you want to design a solution for people like that, you know what it is. So I'm still saying that people should start thinking, people that are capable should start thinking on how to start African innovative or innovation hub, where you can bring talents together and then let them, competition and get the best and then try to promote them. From there, I mean, it's just like, bringing young stars who are footballers together, and then you groom them like what Ayas is doing, and then at the end, maybe it's only 2 or 3 of them that you are able to sell. At the end of the day.
When we talk about the Chinese people you had mentioned about, you go to the big shops here, the African shops, you will see also the Chinese shops, and they have their food and they have everything. And they have employed their own people.
Yes.
But the Africans, we don't have that.
No.
We are not as rich as the Chinese. You go to
No,
their restaurants,
what we do,
when you go to the restaurants, you will also see that this is a well-established restaurant.
Yes.
We don't have that.
Yeah, we buy cars with our money.
No.
What we have,
just something one person alone can do. That means the man,
It's about
we have snodder. We have snodder.
So that's what we have.
Even
So they don't
snodder,
have
you
enough
can
to
grow it.
employ others. They don't
We
have
drive
enough to
snodder.
employ others and pay their tax system and also pay for their benefits and all of that. All of that. We don't have that yet.
You just mentioned
We don't have
snodder.
that yet.
You mentioned snodder.
So-
There are a lot of snodders here in Amsterdam, and I think they are also making a lot of money. If you have to value how much they bring in, it's quite. But I think they also have challenge. If somebody will come up and say, okay, let me interview them, what are the challenges they have? Can I develop an app for them?
It is
That's
illegal.
something,
So
that's something we need to.
in the first place.
No.
I know friends
it's
who have
not-
lost
it's not-
Benz
it's not-
cars,
it's not because of-
BMWs,
it's
because
not-
they were using it illegally for snodder.
Yeah.
It is not a system where you can pay tax. The
No.
government get
I'm
tax
not.
from you.
So
Yeah, but
it's
you can
not
design
kind of
something
it's
so
not
that you also
talking
pay a
about
little bit of
paying
tax.
taxes. What we
But
are
yeah,
trying
but
to
the
say,
but the
what
government
we are
don't
trying
want
to
it.
say is, we've always learned to
Survive.
think. Yes, we
survive.
survive.
We don't, we don't
but
thrive.
We don't
We need
thrive.
thrive.
And right now we have to get out of survival
Because
mode
for you
start
to
driving.
become,
Start
because for
driving.
you to
Yeah.
become
Exactly.
a taxi driver,
Yeah.
you must have special
Yeah,
license.
license.
And then our people don't have it yet.
No, it's not the taxi driver or whatever.
then you try to get it.
It's the
They are
way
trying,
we
but they're not
need
getting
to
it.
change our thinking right now. Our mindset needs to be different.
Exactly.
And the thing is that when Suriname people or African people are coming over here, the first thing that is on their mind is, how can I make some money?
That's what I'm
But
saying.
if that was the second thing
that's the
on
reason
your
why they
mind, and
left.
the first thing on your mind was for
not everybody.
let me
Deliver value to the people. Because
Oh my
when
God.
you see, money is something, I think most of us know this. Money is something that you get when people appreciate the value you give. So if you say, I want to make money, you should be thinking about, I want to deliver value to people. And then you try to identify, where is the problem? How can I solve this problem? And when you do that, you have a sustainable source of income. So when you talk about Snowden, Africans are creative, we are hardworking, but it's just that our mindset is about grabbing it for a short time. We need to change that. It's just a very
grabbing it and taking it back to Africa.
yeah, for
Probably.
it's very
that
mentality.
it's a short
that's
time.
always-
I'm happy that
Because-
you set up this,
Yeah.
and this
Thank you.
will grow, and it will it will bring forth more African. Like for instance, what I'm doing,
I have
people
always
wouldn't
been
know
elated about this
if
program
I
because
wouldn't come
the
here.
education
Yeah.
itself
So
out there.
I think that
enormous.
you have a vital role to
Yeah.
play.
This program.
Can I? I'm still talking, sir.
Okay.
I still think that you have a vital role to play. It's also for you to sit down and have a very good strategy and say, in this 1 year,
Yeah.
I want to, this is what I want to do. And this is what I want to achieve with it. Part of what I also study is also develop strategy. So I really believe that it's very important to have a very good strategy. Don't make it fixed because society is changing.
Yes.
You change it as well.
Yeah.
You
So,
change it as well,
so
too.
the thing is that you need to identify, okay, who do I want to promote? In the next 5 years, 4 years, I want to be able to, from this platform, push somebody up. And then that will also help you to begin to think, who do I need to align with
and,
in the society?
and be true to yourself, because it would be difficult.
Of course.
It will be difficult. But the thing is that the way you are in it, that is the way you will get something out of it.
Yes.
And it's the same thing like relationships.
Yeah.
You have some good times, you have some bad times. But stick together and work out the bad times, and you will see what you get.
Then you can
from
celebrate
it.
the-
You can
the-
celebrate
You
it.
know,
But
there's-
the
there's
thing is,
some- yes.
the thing is that right now there is some kind of attitude that you and I, we both want something. We don't know what it is, but we want it now.
Okay.
And that is the attitude we have. And that's why we always stay with nothing.
How can we ameliorate the poverty levels among the migrants here? Is the question now we are tackling.
I think we've been
We
attending
have
this.
a lot of ideas, but the practicability of it
Yeah.
is what becomes a problem.
Maybe
Because
we
of the system they've put in place here.
Yes, maybe
see,
we,
the system
maybe we
is
become
here.
like maybe we become like the Chinese people.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 or 6 business
Can mesh
tycoons
together.
can come together
Exactly.
and do something
No,
tangible.
yes.
We
If
need
you
collaboration.
anything
And
to
after
Africa,
that, we make sure that we employ our own people.
Yes.
We employ
yes.
only our own people, because this thing we are
Because
even
no, we
saying.
empower
Look
them.
how many
employ our own people
children.
as well to work
Look how
there,
many
and then
children
by,
here.
by employing them, we're empowering them as well. You know,
Look how
financially.
many children here in Amsterdam Southeast need a place for stage.
For internship, yeah.
Yes.
For internship. But the thing is that we have Endemol over here. You know, you think that Endemol will tell them that, oh, you know, come.
Yeah.
We have ING Bank
Exactly,
over here.
exactly.
We have
Endemol will not.
ABN AMRO Bank.
Yes.
We have to create
Our
those
own.
places for them. And we have to stop talking about,
Our own.
but he's from Kenya,
Yeah.
he's from Suriname.
Exactly.
No, we're. I don't want to say that we're black people,
Yeah.
because we're more than that. But the thing is that you see that the government doesn't help us with this.
Yeah.
We have to help ourselves, and we have to start with a mindset. Stop thinking, start doing.
But
Because even this, we are saying that language is the barrier,
It's a barrier,
for those who
language barrier,
come.
who come.
Wait, that is not the truth. The fact is that if we have the migrants who are open-minded and they have what it takes to get the money, maybe to loan money, okay, and they said, okay, we are 5, we want to do this we want to establish a business, and then we will employ our own people. So you know your own people who are well read.
they will give it.
And if you are saying that language is the barrier, now you want to use English to do whatever you want to do, then you employ your own people. Even if you're a medical doctor, you can employ nurses from Africa, nurses who are here, who are Africans, who can still do something. Do you understand? Because it is when we want to go it the Dutch way, then that's the time they will begin to say, you cannot practice here because your certificate is not equivalent to what they want
Yeah.
here. Do you understand me?
Yeah,
But
right.
if
Yes.
you have your money and you have your whatever firm and you're employing your own people, they will not come into it.
No, they can't.
They will not come into
I
it.
agree with you.
The thing
I
is
know.
also
There
there is a nice African clothing, African clothing.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
time
yeah.
I look at it, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
why isn't there a store with African clothing?
That's what I was
over
saying.
We have stores for African clothing. What
We
are you
have
talking about?
stores.
Not enough,
We
because I
have.
never saw that.
No,
We
no.
have.
Okay,
No.
can I say what? Can I interpret what he's saying? You know, if you have one that is also well recognized, that people know about this in Amsterdam, that just like you hear of H&M or whatever, that's what I think he's saying. We
Okay.
need to make it that way because our clothes is so well recognized now,
Yes.
and it's very beautiful.
And the
Yeah.
beautiful colors in
It's
it,
true.
you know.
So that's the thing.
Every human being
Oh, yeah,
has to
it's
eat.
true.
So we need to
We've
push
not-
it to that
yeah,
level.
yeah.
Promotion.
Yeah, we've not gone to that
Promotion.
level of C&A and
This
We
promotion
have
is
to
about
promote
promotion.
ourselves
Somebody
now.
needs to go. Somebody
You
needs
know,
to go
the
to
thing is-
CNA
the
and,
thing is that-
and make a deal with them. You know, that's where we need to start going. That you go there, put people together, and say, okay, I'm going to organize a show, and I'm going to invite those people who are there who make decision and let them be part of this.
One area
Which is possible.
where I see most migrants grabbing into is the restaurant business.
yes.
They cook because every human being has to eat 2-3 times a day.
Yes.
So they don't lose. Whatever they cook is well patronized. But how do they produce the food? they don't need enough labor. Maybe they brought 1, 2 brothers and sisters here, and they help in cooking and putting the food there.
Putting it where? Where is it there? Because we're talking about Chinese restaurants where you go, you relax and you eat your food.
Most
your
migrants from the African descent
where do they put
don't
it?
go to Chinese restaurants.
Where is it there? That's what I want to know.
So.
They there. Now I want to know where is it there.
There is a lady over there
Over
who
where?
cooks eba. He's in a container over there.
Oh my God. That's the poverty we are talking about.
There's
Why
another
must it
point.
be a there?
There's another
And it's
point.
not a
I want-
restaurant.
There's
You
another
understand?
point. There's another point I want to make. Please.
Others are selling in buns.
There's another point I want to
In
make.
buns.
There's another
They
point.
supply people on their vans. The food is prepared and put in vehicles,
There's-
and then you call them, they bring it, they climb up, they drop it.
But that is not what we
All right, but there's a point I want to make. There's a point I want to make. Still talking about how to, help those who are in poverty.
Yeah.
I think one other thing we're lacking in the black communities are investors. People who have made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they think, okay, you know what? I don't want to work anymore. I want my money to work for me.
Uh-huh.
So we still lack that. And if you
Yes.
know one, maybe we need to start approaching them. People that are investors and saying,
Yes, investors,
this
yeah.
business is going well. Invest in it. People who are not just businessmen, but really, investing.
investing in
You
life.
see a business. I will talk about it.
Ex-footballers.
Like we talk about the clothing line, and we think this person is doing well, but why don't we take it to the next level?
Yes.
And somebody that will go and engage those big parties
Exactly.
and then involve them and strike a deal. So we need to start looking for people like that. They may be in
when you're
here
talking
or
about the
outside,
clothing
but it's
business,
important.
There are other
Chinese have them.
migrants here who take the designs of cloths to China. They print it there and come and sell it cheaper than
Yes,
the
you
Dutch
know-
ones on
you-
the market.
You know what they are doing? They are stealing from us
Yeah.
and selling it back
Back
to
to
us.
us.
It's the same thing they've done with religion. They're stealing from us. and giving
They're
it
being
back
clever.
to us.
It doesn't matter. I
The
mean,
thing,
it's
is,
just,
the thing is that we
right.
we don't write, we don't tell our own story, so someone else
tell it for us.
Tell
will tell it for us, and they
And they
will
have to
tell
get
it
paid.
not in our not for our win. They will tell it only for their own
Of
winning.
course, of course.
Poverty levels to change in the black diaspora.
So my final
here.
question
And-
now
and-
is,
And
which are the other things which need to change in order for us to change the economic status?
I will
of
start by
our people?
saying education again and
Okay,
again.
education.
If you don't go to school,
Please,
you can't
please,
be
let-
in a
let's-
circle where
let's-
your
let's
income
be sure on
will be
this.
appreciable.
I mean, what do you mean by
Education,
education?
education is not going to school and learn everything that they are trying to learn you over there. Education is developing yourself, experience. Education is everything. Education is not, I have a diploma.
But that's
That's
not
not
what-
the only
that's what
thing.
To
I'm
him, that's
driving
No,
at.
that's
him
not
is
the
Here,
only
without
thing.
a diploma, you are not recognized.
That's not the only thing.
I
Go
think-
to go tell Endemol education. For instance, Endemol only elementary school.
Yes.
He finished only elementary school, but he is employing more than 10,000 people here in Holland.
Yes.
I think I support
So
you.
you have to experience. You have to. I don't know how to say this in English, but je moet niet alleen maar studeren.
Ja,
je
ja, ja,
moet
ja.
leren.
Yeah.
Okay, you have
The
to learn.
mindset,
You have to
the-
learn.
The, mindset of the parents
The
must be
mindset
changed.
is
The
important.
mindset, yes, of the parents must be changed
Because you have
see
people
how he's
here, they are
thinking?
read books
He's
all
thinking that
day.
you only need to read.
No.
His concept of
Can I-
education is
can
only
I-
to read.
can I- yeah.
But I think we have to get to the level where we must allow our youngsters to develop the talents
Well,
in
among
Yes.
the
them.
youngsters, we have taste. Look, you can go to a shop and then you buy a
We're not
shoe.
living in the world of where the world is different now.
Yeah.
The thing is that there are rich people in Africa. There are rich people in Europe. There are illiterate rich people. There are people that are very well educated that are
Yeah,
poor.
yeah.
So it is helpful to be educated. It liberates you from bondage. But when it comes to coming out of poverty,
making
it's a
decisions.
mindset.
It's the mindset.
It's a recognition that, you know
I'm
what,
just
I want to
talking about
be.
It's the mindset.
The shops.
It's the mindset.
Over here in Amsterdam,
Yeah.
we have two types of shops. I saw a guy with a belt, and he told me the belt is Mark. and asked, what is Merck? He said, there's a shop, you can buy a belt for 15 euros, and you go to that Merck shop, you can buy that belt for 250
It's a brand.
euros.
You mean the brand.
You know, yeah.
Mac, M-I-C.
You see, and I was surprised. People go to shops like Bristol, because they know they do cotton, they reduce items. If you want the issue, every morning you go and see whether there's cotton on it. If it take you 2 weeks to buy it at a lower cost.
That's more.
Then somebody will go to the Merck store and buy a shoe for 300 euros. And he feels proud.
But
unless you know what is Merck, you can never determine
but
the price of it.
Can
So
I
it-
can
it's
I
the
can I
taste.
say something about that?
Yeah.
But that's something that's an identity problem. It's part of the poverty level because we as African, I say we now because I'm an African.
Yes.
We have been taught that we are not good enough. We're inferior. That's what the society is telling us. So we need to put things on that makes us look good.
Look good,
So
yes.
and that's also creating extra poverty. So not until our people begin to realize that they are just too good for how they are.
Yeah.
Even with the slippers on,
compensating.
and that you're black or you're good, and that you are artistic in nature, and that you're great. Until we start, changing that image of ourselves,
perception.
Yes.
people will still go and buy thousands of euros, car, clothing, shoes,
Yes.
which will lead us to
So,
poverty.
Bill, my question again, what can we do to improve this situation? So you said education. Let me hear
Education.
from other people.
Okay.
then.
To tell you the truth, for the second time, your mindset is very much important. But
Yes.
I said something earlier, and that is, what are you ready to do to make that change? Because we can say, yeah, your mindset, and then you say, okay, mindset. But what are you ready to do to make that change?
Sacrifices.
Do you have the discipline, to make that sacrifice? Because it's not a hard sacrifice. You know what a sacrifice is? You know how you make a change, or you build your discipline. Say, for instance, to yourself, every morning at 6 o'clock, I want my cup of tea, and I'm making it myself. Every morning. Every morning, 6 o'clock, you want your cup of tea. Not 1 after 6, but 6 o'clock, you want your cup of tea. And you're not waiting for someone else to make it for you, but you're doing it yourself. Start doing that a month, and then you'll see the change in your life already. Because that's discipline. And then you will know that, hey, I can do this. Let's take it a step further. And so you take it a step further. And so you can try. If you can do that, you can try.
Before you talk, let me chip in this.
I
I
want
want
to
to have
respond to
on
that.
the innovation word you mentioned. The black man
Can
or
I
the
react
migrant
to what
is
before-
only
because
always
he's going-
innovative when he's pushed to the wall.
Okay, let him speak, sir.
Before you become innovative, when you lack and you have been pushed to the wall, then you start thinking.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. It's general.
Yeah.
Talking about what you said about discipline, I agree with you. I support you on that. But I think that what we should be looking at here is not just to create rules for people, but to build a culture. Now, a culture is something that, when you do something on over and over, it becomes like a character. If you do it for a long time, it becomes a culture. You just used to taking coffee. It's a culture. So when I have a child that is born into my home, because it's our culture, that child will develop that character automatically. I don't have to tell him. And that's what the Caucasians have, the white people.
Yes.
They have the culture already. So what you're saying will work for those who are already adults of age who think, I want to do it. But we are changing a whole generation, people that are coming up. So we need to not just make it a rule, but make it a culture, a way of life. So that I still
Yes,
think
exactly.
that leaders should take the bull by the horn.
Yes,
And-
yes, yes.
and- yeah.
Lead.
And
Exactly.
and
You,
lead.
you understand what
I
he's
understand, but
Yes.
let me ask this salient question.
But which culture
There
are
is
we
a
going to
mentality-
impact on them now?
Among the Caucasians,
So
The
now,
culture to now work.
there is a
Working for people.
mentality among the Caucasians
it's
here
also
that when they buy this car and they use it for 2 years, they take it out or they put it even on Marketplace and buy another one. Migrants are not with that idea.
Mindset, yes.
They will buy something and they will keep it for ages. Meanwhile, they continue buying new things, but still keeping the old one. At times you go to Marketplace and you see things that why is this man putting this thing away? Something of quality like this.
You have to look at the value at which he's selling it. They know when to sell, when you can get. Like for instance, if I buy a car, I buy something that I know has second-hand value. If I want to sell it, I get it back. You understand? I'm not going to buy something that, you know, and that's private. I don't want to go into that. But you have to be careful. When you have this mindset of wealth creation, whatever you spend your money on is on value. It's not just
putting it away.
Putting it away.
Well,
So what are we now saying to those who have watched us? I want to give you one minute, you know, to look into the camera and tell them the practical strategy that will bring a migrant out from poverty.
If I may start,
You
I
know,
will tell
1 minute.
I will tell everybody looking at me and listening to me now here that you have to come out from the domain you are occupying now by trying to learn something. Because here, if you are not able to acquire extra knowledge and you remain in that cleaning circle, you will be there indefinitely.
But you know, you're abstract. Why concretize what you are saying? Like maybe there are people who are watching us, they don't really understand all this long grammar we are speaking here. Tell them something very
You
tangible.
must first
like,
overcome the language barrier.
Like you say, you can go and
First.
learn how to do hair. You can go if you know how to plait hair. If you know how to barb hair. If you know, those are the things I want to hear.
It is
to
not
tell
easy
them,
to actually start a business here without an office, which is expensive. People are cooking in their houses. People are running businesses in the boot of their cars. People are running businesses in their private homes. And because you don't pay tax, it will not grow. Unlike somebody who goes and hire a place, hire people, you must have a capital base. And as a migrant, without the capital, you can't be innovative in any way. You cannot propound any theory that can raise your income levels. So, finance is the beacon, is the criteria to improve your living standard. But without, the capital. And what happens in my native country is that people go to the bank, take loans, they take it to Africa to build a big mansion in their vicinity where they live. For people to see that, oh, they've come from Europe. Then they come back here and continue working to pay the loan. You see, they show off over there in Africa that, oh, they've got big mansions, 3-story, 4-story. They took the loan from the bank. They come back here, continue working to pay the loan. How can you improve your living standard with such a situation?
People, you don't bother them.
it's terrible. So what have you just said?
All I'm saying is, if you know you are staying here for the 5-10 years, stay here.
And learn.
But we think about our dependence home, where we came from.
We live in 2 countries.
And it's people are here, they don't eat well because they want to support their families in Africa.
That one is another thing.
It's another thing.
It's another.
It's another discussion.
Thank you, sir. So, what do you have to say, Austin?
Well, in a very practical way,
Yeah.
because getting out of poverty for a whole generation, tribe, or group, it requires a collaborative effort. But I would say that individual can, you can contribute your own effort by looking at yourself. How can you create value for people? If you have education, how can you use that education to create value for people? Because people are ready to pay for value. And if you have an education that you're just working any money, you know that you're not creating value, you're just there counting number, it will not last for long. So you need to start thinking of, do I need to learn something else? It's not wrong if you're a medical doctor and they have put you on a payroll and you're not a surgeon, you just, because you're a doctor, they are paying you every month. A time will come when they realize that you're not giving value, they will stop you. So it might be useful for you to start learning something else. And don't think about yourself alone. Think about people that are looking at you.
Yes.
People that are inspired by you. Because we cannot do this alone as individuals. We need to do it. African, our black skin is already being looked at as inferior, which we are not. So we're not proving anything, but we need to stand that we are superior and that we are qualified to be here and and we are created specially.
So we are here
Yes.
to add value to
To add
society.
value, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me hear from Robert.
Yes, yes. Actually, you told something about our black skin, and so I want to start with this. First, we were conquerors of land. We became conquerors of seas. We brought civilization all over the world, and now they are calling us black men. So, it's very important that we start learning who we are, start learning ourselves, know who we are as
identity.
our identity. People are calling us black men, we are calling ourselves black men, but what is our real name? That is maybe something for you to think about. What I want to say is that to get out of poverty, you don't need to be a brain surgeon to know how to get out of poverty. Look at yourself. Look at your surroundings, and see what it is, because everything can be of support of you. Your talent, for instance. Maybe you're a good writer. Yes. You're a songwriter. You're a story writer, or whatever it is. Maybe there are people in your neighborhood who will start laughing, and because they don't understand what it is. When you see something and you know that is over there, even if someone else doesn't see it, go after it. Earlier today, I I told them a small story about Napoleon. Napoleon, who has a first commander, and the first commander who was winning all the fights, all the battles for Napoleon. And after a while, the first commander came to Napoleon and asked him, I am the one who's fighting all the fights for you, winning all the battles for you, but why are you the commander? Why are you the boss? And Napoleon told him, do you see the star over there? And the first commander asked him, which star? That's why Napoleon was number one, because he saw the star and he was chasing his dream. Go for it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I believe our viewers, you must have learned something today. If there's not that, at least take the innovative hub and then bring out your talents. Begin to look for sponsors who would, buy into your talent. There's something in you. Don't sit and allow poverty to cripple you. We must be overcomers. Yeah. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
For this tangible time you've spent. God richly bless you. And I believe that you have really given to the society something that people can work with. Yes. So whoever is interested will be ready to, play this thing once more and more, get some of the ideas we've discussed today and do something with them.
We have to do something with it, really. We have to do something with it, because it's what I said just a few minutes ago. Stop talking, start doing.
Yeah.
I think that's
and that's the best way to do something. It's the best way to do. Start doing
I am just believing God that many migrants will be like the Chinese people,
God will always
they gather
be
together,
there.
They have their money and they invest it and get one restaurant and start another restaurant and start another thing. Before you know it, you have a lot. Yeah. So let that be our mindset, not just that. That we just want to be selling from the boot of your car.
We have to know.
You want to be selling from the trunk of your car.
We must push one another. We must learn to push one another. But in Africa, we are inward looking and selfish. No, but instead of helping one another to push him up, we don't do that. We rather pull him down.
Exactly.
No, I don't want to look at things that hurt.
And we use the media to promote what we are doing. Like my brother Austin here. Yeah. He has a lot he's doing. You, Robert, you have a lot you are doing. Come out and let me use the media and promote what you are doing.
No, I
mean,
we
don't go about going to we go to RL5 and whatever. But meanwhile, this one is really a champion also.
I mean, we're living in days of internet and millions of people are watching. As we're here right now, we don't even know where they're watching.
Somebody is watching us in Azerbaijan.
So let's promote what we have. That's what I'm trying to say here. Let's promote what we have and go for it.
And we have have to tell our own story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Don't
you.
let
thank
someone
you,
else
thank you,
tell your
thank
story for you,
You know, in the
because
next
it will
few minutes-
never be the story.
Yeah.
It will be just a rumor.
Let's tell our stories by ourselves.
Yes.
God richly bless you. Let's say bye to our fans. Thank you for watching
Thank you
us,
very
all of
much.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, and we want
Bye-bye.
these gentlemen more and more to come and talk to us about wealth creation.
Yeah.
How about that?
That would be great.
All right.
That would be great.
We see you again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
with us.
very
much. Thank you
so
very much.
Thank you, sir. And bye for you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.